Okay. We're gonna do our review, then we do the safe fact update. We're reviewing these two magazines here from Wilson Combat. They're Wilson Combat 10 rounders. They have the stop here, so that when you slam it into the gun, safety check always. When you slam it into the gun, the stop keeps the magazine adjusted nice and tight. These walls are the thickest walls in the industry. The spring is made out of a music wire. This is a polymer follower. You can see the standard capacity magazine. This piece of shit here. Okay? Yeah. This follower is compared to... God damn. See the open lip? See the whole follower made out of polymer. These are made out of polymer. Some companies make them out of some kind of metal. Very, very tough. Nice and... yeah. You can just feel the quality. You know this is much, much more reinforced than this. I got these. I bought myself a Christmas gift. Oh, by the way, I'm 31 today. Thank you. I bought myself these magazines as a Christmas gift. I ordered them in August. They came in September. But when I do Christmas, I buy myself a gift and I don't open it until Christmas. So I finally tested them last Saturday, March 2nd. Now, when I went to the range, there was a guy there next to me. I was in the second to last booth. He was in the last booth on my right. This guy had a Kimber 1911, the stainless steel, the base model. Yeah, he had the Kimber 1911 with him. He had a 22 caliber conversion kit, plus the standard 45 upper. And he left his magazines at home. The only magazine he had was a subcompact 6-round magazine that obviously would not fit. So he asked me, he said, "Can I borrow one of your magazines?" Now, I only bought the Wilson Combat mags. I did not buy my standard capacity mags. Bring my standard capacity mags, because when I was shooting the 1911, 9 out of 10 times, literally 9 out of 10 shooting episodes, it jammed or failed to feed or some other bullshit. And to have a nice test, I was going to shoot only the Wilson Combat mags. Let me tell you, it was a magazine issue. The gun ran flawlessly. So anyway, I got these two 10-round mags there. And I said, yeah, sure, why not? So I let him borrow one mag. I said, you know, being that my magazine, he said, yeah, sure. I fired a couple of shots out of his gun. Then I gave him mine to fire a couple of shots out of. He liked it a lot. I liked his a lot. Nice guy. We get done talking. On the way out, during my shooting expedition, there's a guy 3 booths down from me on my left. He's talking about being in pain. But he's talking about it real nice and calm, so I figured nothing's up. I get done shooting, I'm cleaning up my shit. I take the magazine and I'm showing it to the range instructor. Blah, 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 Wilson Combat, blah, blah, blah. Great magazine. The guy that was in pain looks at me and says to me, "You're shooting 45? I said, yeah. He said, "You shot me." He reached in his pocket. He had a 45 bullet in his pocket that was flattened and deformed. And the kid next to me said, you know, I was shooting ball. The kid next to me was shooting hollow point. And we were able to look at it and determine it was a ball, so I was the one that shot. Yeah. What happened was, I fired a bullet. The bullet went down range, bounced on the backstop, came back, and hit him right here in the chest. It didn't even pierce his shirt. Gave him a real nasty welt on his body, but it didn't even pierce his shirt. And it was real mangled up, hot, you know, jagged edges and shit like that. This motherfucker got shot in the chest with a .45 and didn't even need first aid. But let me tell you how lucky he really was, okay? The guy in the booth on my left was a vascular surgeon. So God forbid the shit really hit the fan. This guy had a surgeon on the scene that could have kept him going until the ambulance came to transport him to the hospital if that had to happen, God forbid. The guy wasn't mad at me, he was amazed. He kept the bullet for good luck. But, and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, are you fucking serious? I literally looked at where I was, where he was, and I'm like, he's where the camera is, and I'm where I am. And I'm like, you fucking serious? You fucking, holy shit. Woo! But this fucking, let me tell you something. This guy better cure fucking cancer, man. God loves this fucking guy. So I was happy. I can't tell you how glad I was that he was okay. Because I would have literally started crying like a baby right there in that place if this guy was in. If he got shot and the bullet actually went into his body and he had to actually go to the hospital and get surgery, I would have literally been crying my fucking eyes like a fucking baby. I was so relieved this guy was okay. You have no comprehension how lucky I was, how good I felt this guy was okay. Now these magazines are, I haven't used Metgar or ActMag or KimPro, which is the Kimber magazine made in my hometown that people from the Army channel likes. I've had these, and I've had this shit. You buy Rock Island Armory for $500, they give you a $35 ActMag. You buy this shit for over $1,000, or Kimber for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. They give you shit magazines. Colt give you shit magazines. You gotta upgrade the magazine. These magazines were used by LAPD SWAT. They're not anymore. I'll get to that in a minute. But above all, this is a great magazine. Wilson Combat is a great company. You should really give them your business. And, you know, I'm not into that. I'm not a technical scientist where I'm like nothing fancy where he goes over every fucking molecule. But these feed perfectly. The spring is perfect. The follower is perfect. The company is perfect. And you can have some of the best magazines in the world in a $300 1911 that you bought from fucking Rock Island Armory or some shit. Okay? These magazines are excellent. I can vouch for Nighthawk Customs and ActMag and Metgar because I haven't shot them. And I assume they're good because a lot of guys I know, like Pete from the Army channel, swear by some of those fucking things. You know, Metgar, ActMag. But if you want a quality magazine for your gun, they make 7-rounders, 8-rounders, and 10-rounders. They make nickel, stainless, what the fuck you want, stainless to match this gun. They make blue if you have a blue gun, or if you have a blue gun with a stainless steel barrel, you could use this with that. It'll blend nicely, the two-tone thing. But just above all, superior quality magazines. Totally reliable. You will cherish them for years. Blah 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 bullshit. Yeah, you know what I want. I want to get to the Safe Act. Okay, well that's the magazine review. Here's the Safe Act review. We have court tomorrow. New York State Supreme Court is going to hear the Robert Schulz case. Cuomo has the burden of proof on himself. He must prove to the court that the SAFE Act is constitutional according to the state constitution and the federal constitution. The federal constitution says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The state constitution says the right of the people to keep and bear arms cannot be infringed. I'm going to put this back in the box in a few minutes. The High Cap magazine fit in the box. Anyway, The right of the people to keep and bear arms cannot be infringed. The state constitution has stronger wording than the federal constitution. Okay? New York State was the most conservative state in the Union for many generations, and we have pro-gun laws in effect that outrank even the federal laws. They're more powerful than the federal laws. So the state law is going to really fuck him. Now, Douglas Camphor, the guy upstate who's filing in federal court, his attorney is a George Bush Jr. appointee, Vietnam veteran. No change with that yet. The Robert Schultz thing, we're hearing it tomorrow. If Cuomo cannot meet the burden of proof, the judge will put an injunction on Cuomo forbidding the enforcement of the SAFE Act pending all litigation. Which is basically the way of saying the SAFE Act is suspended until the court cases are finished, and the court cases may knock it down. Then we have the major lawsuit by New York State Rifle and Pistol Association that is going to be filed officially within the next week or two. It should be noted that's what they said 2 weeks ago. But that lawsuit, they want to cover every aspect, every I dotted, every T crossed, every this and that. They've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on research already. I talked to this dude, Scott, who is the president of the Westchester County Firearms Association. He is a co-plaintiff with them. I don't want to discuss what we discussed, some of it's private, but they're really looking into every fucking little molecule. Commerce, civil rights, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Second Amendment, state con. They're looking at every angle you could possibly name. The lawyers involved are lawyers that are sponsored by Second Amendment Foundation. They are really, really looking into it. Okay. The other lawsuit where Tresmond is sponsoring the gun dealer who's suing on the grounds his business will close. No change there. So that's that with that. As of now, there are 40 counties in New York State that have officially repealed the SAFE Act. They said we want it repealed. We're not going to enforce it. This is bullshit. There are close to 40 towns, villages, and cities that have done the same. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. I am going to our capital city of White Plains. The board members for the county lawmaking body are meeting tomorrow for the first time in the only time in March. Dr. Stephen Katz, the assemblyman who told the lawmaking body, when I come up here to represent the state, my wife is home with our 3 daughters. The magazine is going to be fully loaded. Okay, I talked to his wife on Facebook. She is talking to the lawmaking body in Westchester County because they're from Upper Westchester. She knows a lot of them. She's going to start tagging them on Facebook publicly if they don't start to go in line with us. The lawmaking body in Westchester County is with Cuomo. The county executive in Westchester County is with us. So we are split down the middle here. And there are likewise a lot of cities and towns and counties where, you know, the county executives are Cuomo, the lawmakers are with us, or you may have the mayor with Cuomo, the police with us. So they're split. It's like a fucking civil war. They're split down the middle. They don't know what to do. Well, yeah. But as it stands now, there are over 40 counties that have flat out said no to the SAFE Act. There are at least 10 or 11 more that will go very, very soon. Yeah. About Wilson Combat, I said Wilson Combat magazines are no longer used by LAPD SWAT. Wilson Combat became the 45th, yeah, right. Wilson Combat became the 45th county, I'm sorry, fuck it, 45th company to officially tell New York no law enforcement sales from now on, period. We're done. They will still sell to citizens in these states, but Wilson Combat wrote a list of states where they don't like the gun laws, and they flat out told the governors of those states, fuck you. Your cops want guns, your cops want, you know, a lot of SWAT teams use 1911s. You want a magazine? Go someplace else. You want an AR? Go someplace else. You want a Remington 870 custom? Go someplace else. And there are dozens more companies added to the list. The number of companies has like tripled in 2 weeks, I think. So you should go on Wilson Combat and buy their magazine to give them your business. And I wrote a letter to them, I wrote an email to them thanking them for their services to us. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. All this bullshit about, you know, this and that and infringing on your rights and let's see how far we can go, because the gun lobby, the anti-gun lobby is never satisfied. There's always one more gun law. There's always one more common sense, reasonable restriction. They are never ever satisfied. Period. End of story. And now we finally said, fuck you. Okay? We're going to sue you in court. We're going to petition you. We're going to protest you. We're not going to comply with you. We're going to boycott you. Okay? You got gun manufacturers boycotting. You got local lawmakers repealing, implementing repeal laws. You've got sheriffs and police commissioners saying no. You've got individual police officers who are at the lowest level of the totem pole saying, I shall not comply. Oath before orders. You know, Albany, very, very liberal county. Albany City is the capital city, and there's Albany County. The sheriff of Albany County has said no. Albany County has proposed a repeal of the SAFE Act. Okay? And like I said, here down in Westchester, the county executive is on our side. He controls the county police. The county police cannot enforce SAFE if he tells them no, because they answer to him. He appoints the police commissioner. Police commissioner serves him. It doesn't matter if the police commissioner is the president of the Brady campaign. The police commissioner cannot enforce SAFE if the county executive tells him no. And if the county executive wants, he can fire the police commissioner and put a new one in place. So the county police in Westchester County are on our side now. All police officers that I can think of are on our side. My hometown, the police will not comply. Period. Okay? I've talked to police officers on an individual basis. My dealer's a cop. His son is a cop. My mother is a civilian employee for the police department. I'm the school crossing guard for the police department. Okay? My mother's union representative is the mayor's best friend. He also is very big on the Second Amendment. Okay? We know for a fact our police will not comply. So all it's going to be is Cuomo having a fucking heart attack. Because we are done with this bullshit. Now I'm going to give you a good example. There was an article I was reading on Facebook that was published a couple days ago about New York City. Restaurants and this and that are getting ready for the soda ban. Alcohol isn't banned yet, but soda is. You know, the container, 16 ounces, blah, blah, blah. They're ordering smaller cups. They're stopping serving pitchers of soda. They're, in other words, the sheep are obeying the wolf, basically. Bah. Fucking pieces of shit. Emperor Bloomberg has surpassed Thomas Jefferson as the largest slave owner in American history. Okay? They are fucking slaves. In 1991, and I did a video on this, New York City police went around and they physically took weapons out of homes. They went door to door and said, if you have a weapon with this evil feature on it, we want it banned. New York City, 1991. No more evil features on your weapons. None. Not one. 0 evil features on the weapons. No more 10-round magazine. No more 11-round magazines. No more this. No more that. And if you already have the rifle, 90 days to surrender it. Police did spot checks. One guy on Long Island refused to surrender his rifle. He was arrested. Okay? Now there is a lawsuit in New York City where a couple of vendors have said, fuck you, we don't want to comply with the soda ban. They're fighting back. They're a minority. Okay? In New York City, they told them gun control to the nth degree. They complied. Then it was knife control to the nth degree. They complied. Now it's soda control. Okay? This is a precursor. If you allow your government officials to fucking treat you like a fucking slave, they will not stop. Today it's gun control, tomorrow knife control, day after that soda control, okay? They're telling you what fucking foods to eat. You know, there are guys in prison that have more rights than guys in New York City. They're telling you what food to eat, they're telling you what fucking calories are, they're telling you about sugar and stuff. Shut the fuck up. Okay? This is what's going to happen. You will be a fucking slave, okay? You must fight back. The legal system is there for us. The founding fathers gave us our civil court rights so that we would not have to revolt. The founding fathers revolted against the British because they had no recourse. We have recourse. We have lawyers. We have constitutional scholars. We have courts. We have a constitution. You fight back. You do not have to go crazy and get to the fucking guns and revolt against the government. That's the last thing you want to do, believe me. But you have lawyers, you have courts, you must resist. Okay? You must resist. This right now in New York State is the largest mobilization against fanatical gun control in U.S. history. Yes. We're breaking records left and right. Okay? This must stop. Because if it doesn't stop, they will keep going. Okay? Bloomberg is a slave owner. He's a slave owner. They must obey him. He's a fucking slave owner. Okay? And this bullshit where the gun control thing, they want all of New York State to be like New York City. A peaceful year in New York City has 400 murders. Okay? Yes, they're a heavily populated city. I understand that. But even by a heavily populated city's definition, New York City is violent. And there was a time a couple of years ago where they were surpassing Chicago in the murder department. Okay? So, how did that work out? Okay? Controlling people doesn't make them safe. It just makes them a bunch of fucking slaves. Okay? So, when your legislators say, we're going to ban 8-round magazines, we're going to ban rifles or pistol grips, we're going to make you own one gun only, we're going to put a 500% tax on every gun purchase, you fight back. You call your lawyers, you call the Second Amendment Foundation, you call NRA, you call someone, I don't give a fuck how many times you got to call, I don't care how many times you got to email, you resist. I cannot stress that enough. You resist. Molan Labe.